Cool. Okay. So it's the 22nd of November, 2021, and day 16 of 102 different ways to ride home, and I'm on my Triumph Tiger. I think it's Tiger XRX. I finally got it serviced, and I've got new chains and new sprockets on. No, chains isn't plural. New chain and sprockets. So this is what why I didn't make much of it, any videos last week. I'm riding into a strong easterly wind too, so I'm going to be a little bit worried about the sound quality. But yeah, so Wednesday afternoon I had to drop it off. I worked on it Thursday, and then Thursday I had to ride home and then run back down and pick this up. So this, you see how much that's shaken? I'm almost eating the bloody thing. Everything's a lot higher on the Triumph than the Yamaha. I might have to buy a shorter extension, drop it down a bit, but yeah. I was going to say something then too, but I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, last week was a bit of a muck around week, so I didn't get any videoing riding home done. What the hell are you doing, mate? The Weather Bureau has promised us rain all day, and there's just a few little spits around. A little bit of mizzle coming over the range at the moment. A little bit lost for words. I don't know what I want to talk about. Oh, that's right, I was going to say this. I call this bike Lucinda. If I ever had a second daughter, I was going to call her Lucinda if I could get it past the powers to be. But I never had a second daughter, so my second motorbike I've called Lucinda. For absolutely no other reason that I like the name. Just like the way it sounds, Lucinda. And I looked it up last week on Google, as you do, for what it might mean, and it's illumination. So it's to bring the light to newborns, whatever that means. So it's kind of I don't know if the Triumph is illuminating in any way, but there you go. The other nickname I have for this bike is the Whistler, because this thing, it's just got a horrible whistle. There's nothing nice about it. Some people like it, but it does nothing for me. Just whistles. And there's a bit of a shout. The other thing that happens, I don't know why, the bloke did it. I've got to take it back to the motorcycle shop. He's left the gear lever way too high, and I've got to lift my foot almost up the pegs to change bloody gear. I could probably do it myself, but I figure he stuffed it up, he can fix it up. Can you hear? Yeah, I'm assuming you can hear that whistle. It's not too bad out on the highway because I've usually got earplugs in and there's plenty of wind noise and you don't hear it much, but around town it's just, oh come on mate, what the fuck are you waiting for? Fucking Jesus. Yeah. My wife actually says, I heard you coming. She can hear the whistle from around the corner. once you can't hear the sound of the motor or the exhaust or anything, just the whistle. I've got no idea why Triumph decided that was a good idea to make it like that, but they have. Otherwise, it does have ABS, which I find all this electronic stuff sort of makes you a bit lazy. You're not paying attention as much, because you know all you got to do is jump on all the brakes and it won't lock up and you're pretty well safe. And traction control, so you know if you're going up a hill you just twist the throttle and it'll sort itself out. I can't remember what else it does. Got 3 or 4 riding modes. Again, I don't remember. This has been parked for about 6 months, this poor bike, but it's got a bit of work coming up early next year and a bit later on in the year again, when we go bush, as they say. The weekend was a bit of a non-event. Just procrastination on steroids. Unfortunately for me, I started to come good around lunchtime yesterday. I got a few things done, but geez, before that I couldn't even get out of my own way. Couldn't get out of my own way half the time. It's also got automatic cancelling indicators, which is a bit of a trap, because I get off this bike and get back on the Yamaha and I keep forgetting to turn the indicators off. So I kind of get in the habit of just turning them off, whether they're being turned off automatically or not. That way I don't get lazy on the Yamaha. Been a horribly windy day. It started off really nice morning, wind picked up and it's been blowing ever since. I better go a different way home now that I'm on. I've just gone the general way I always go. Okay, let's try this. It won't be very different, but it'll be different, that's all that matters. So if I take the first right after Bridge Street here, it'll drop me down onto Mort Street and then I'll pick up Bridge Street again and go home. So it's different, isn't it? Not much else has been really going on. Like I said, I had a pretty ordinary weekend. A little bit. There we go. What's the name of this street? Coming. Hang on, darling, I'm coming. Oh, fucking jeez, mate. Good on you. Gospel, there must have been a gospel festival on the weekend. That's over. Where are you going? Don't put your... Oh, put his indicator on. There's some pretty houses in here. Oh, they're on for sale. Oh, big block of land. Make a veggie garden out of that. I've got no idea how this thing makes a stable video when it's wobbling around like that. I've got a gear indicator on this one too, which is good. Stops me from trying to get first when I've already got it. So there's Elite Motorcycles. That's where the bike went to get serviced. I usually come in from the other direction, but we're going back onto Bridge Street now. Looks like there's a train shunting down there too. That's going to back the traffic up. So today's Monday. Have we got any plans for this weekend? Maybe, depends on the weather a bit, I suppose. Round we go, round the, oh yep. I think that train's just actually sitting on the tracks for whatever reason. I don't know if you can see it all the way up there. So, I might be here for a bit of a chat. Oh, get the cramps in my hand. There he goes. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Oh, at last. Thank you. This the two bikes are so chalk and cheese. It's a very high bike. There's a lot of these adventure type bikes tend to be, whereas the Yamaha for 1300 with a big 4-cylinder is quite low. I keep telling my wife, like I said, it's got the ABS and the traction control. It's also got cruise control. So when you're on the highway, you just set cruise control and you, it's almost a little bit boring to ride this bike just around town and on the road. It's great fun when you out in the bush whipping around, but to sit on it, it's a lot more comfortable in the Yamaha, but to sit on it with cruise control and everything else, it doesn't need a lot of input from me. What you got to do is make sure no one's trying to run you off the road, I suppose. It does everything really well, easily. There's no surprises. Just goes, stops, steers. Same horsepower. It's 800cc. It's got the same horsepower as the Yamaha. 98 horsepower. I don't know what the torque figures are. I don't know how similar they are. This is, I think the power in this thing is a lot higher than the Yamaha. The Yamaha, being a big 4, has got a lot more torque. So you ride it differently. You're sort of riding this one around 5, 6, 7,000 revs or more if you really wanted to make it go. And it really goes. Oh, geez, that last car must have went through a pretty orange light. Anyhow, that was the last corner. We're home again. I'll see if I can make the next one a bit more interesting. got to get those bloody celery plants out of the ground. It's a jungle. Ugh. I'm still getting used to this. Okay. Oh. 13.